2024即将结束，作为这一年最风云的人物，也是自诩将人类带入新纪元、上天下地开拓人类新领域的马斯克。他的科技发展背后的动力和认知哲学是什么？很多人想知道这一点。马斯克是基督徒吗？基督教是如何影响他的世界观的呢？我们来看 Jordan Peterson， 著名的加拿大心理学家，多伦多大学心理学名誉教授，也是作家和公共知识分子，对马斯克今年的采访。
Well, I should perhaps go back to what is the foundation of my philosophy, because that I think helps build up, to explain my actions. When I was, about 11 or 12 years old, I had somewhat of an existential crisis because there just didn't seem to be any meaning in the world, no meaning to life. And so I actually tried to read all the religious texts.
At that age?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was a voracious reader as a kid. So I, obviously read the Bible. I read the Quran, the Torah, the various, but on the Hindu side, just trying to understand all these things. And obviously, as a 12-year-old, you're not really going to understand these things super well. But I've just
you understood it well enough to have an existential crisis when you were 11 or 12.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Well, that's a start.
Does anyone have an answer that makes sense? And then I started getting into the philosophy books, and I read quite a bit of Schopenhauer and Nietzsche, and which is quite depressing to read as a kid.
Yeah, you might say that.
That's depressing as an adult, but and none of them really seem to have, to me, answers that resonated, at least to me. But then I read Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is really a book on philosophy disguised as humor.
Mm-hmm.
And the point that Adams tries to make there is that we don't actually know all the answers, obviously.
Yeah.
In fact, we don't even know what the right questions are to ask. That's where he has, this if you read the book, Earth is actually a giant computer to understand the answer to the question, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah.
And comes up with the answer 42.
Yeah.
And people are like, what does that mean? It says, you didn't understand the thing that's going to take a computer far more powerful than Earth is to understand what question to ask.
Yeah, right.
That's simply the wrong question.
So was that the key realization, that the question was the thing?
That was a fundamental turning point, yeah.
Okay, so how old were you when you figured out that the question...
13 or something.
What did that do to you? What did that do to you?
Well, I was a lot happier after that. Because now it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to accept that we are ignorant of a great many things.
Yeah.
And we wish to be less ignorant. And anything we can do that will improve our understanding of the universe and make us less ignorant and have a deeper understanding of the universe and even more questions to ask about the answer that is the universe, which is, I think, Adams' central point, is good. And
that was good enough to resolve that crisis.
It was for me at least.
Yeah.
And so, is this a religion? I don't know. Maybe it is, but I think it's a good one. I'd call it the religion of curiosity.
I wondered. I see. Because I wondered what's motivated you. Because you push in so many directions simultaneously. You have to be really highly motivated to do that. And so you figured out that the question, in a sense, was the answer.
Yeah. The question is, or said another way, that seeking greater enlightenment and a better understanding of the universe and what questions to ask about it is something that we can continue to do as a civilization for a very long time.
Because, okay, so you're a very wealthy man. You could give your children anything they ever asked for. Okay, so why not do it? Why not every time they ask for something, why not just deliver it?
There's some wisdom that comes through the ages that you don't want to have someone be a spoiled brat. And
why do you think giving people everything they want exactly when they want it necessarily produces that? Because it seems to.
I think it almost always is.
Okay, you had a rough childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like rough and tumble, rough childhood. Plenty of fights, and a father who was a difficult creature to contend with. Okay, what did that do for you? And are you grateful for it, or are you unhappy about it?
Well, I guess you never know the things that really made you who you are today. So at the end of the day, am I on net grateful for my life? I am. And perhaps even for the hard things. Because those hard things, I learned from them. Well, so, while I'm not a particularly religious person, I do believe that the teachings of Jesus are good and wise. And that there's tremendous wisdom in turn the other cheek. And for a while there, when I was saying, I thought, well, that's really a weak thing to do.
It can be.
If someone and with respect to bullies at school, I think you shouldn't turn the other cheek. You should punch them on the nose, and then thereafter make peace with them. But they need to stop bullying you, and a punch on the nose will stop that. And then thereafter, make peace. So
sometimes that punch on the nose is the first step in making peace with bullies.
Yes, it may, change their career from being a bully to perhaps they shouldn't be doing such things. I think there's anyway. So
why not bitterness?
This notion of forgiveness is important. I think it's essential because if you don't forgive, then as I forget who said it, but an eye for an eye makes everyone blind.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to seek vengeance and you have this never-ending cycle of vengeance.
Mm-hmm. There are anthropological speculations that we were caught in a 350,000-year cycle of not getting anywhere after modern human beings emerged precisely because of that. Because we couldn't get out of accelerating tit-for-tat revenge cycles. Right?
Yeah, so I'm actually a big believer in the principles of Christianity. I think they're very good.
So in what sense, then, are you not religious?
I would say I'm probably a cultural Christian.
Okay, so
I was brought up as an Anglican, and I was baptized. And although oddly enough, my parents also simultaneously sent me to a Jewish nursery school, preschool. So it was Jesus our Lord.
Well, Jews have a reputation for being religious too,
Yeah, no, I might have been the only non-Jewish kid at the school. I didn't even realize that was the thing. But I was just singing Harvard Nagila one day and Jesus our Lord the next,
Mm-hmm.
So that is my upbringing.